Chapter 866, Home. Upon hearing Miss Justice's greeting, the fool Klein suddenly had a strong, wistful feeling. After knowing her identity, status, looks, and situation, he had a deeper understanding as to why Audrey's tone had a happy and radiant air. He understood where they essentially came from, but he didn't end up envious or jealous because of that, nor did he believe that she lacked the toughness that was brought about by misery. Instead, he felt that in this world that had chaos, warped, and madness underlying it, having such a lady exist was really nice. A smile surfaced on his face as he gently nodded as an acknowledgement of Miss Justice's greeting. After the Tarot Club members exchanged greetings, Katlia nudged her glasses and turned her body sideways. She bowed in the direction of the blurry figure that was enveloped by gray fog at the end of the long bronze table. Honorable Mr. Fool, there are 3 diary pages this time. Queen Mystic has finally come online again. Klein lampooned and said with a smile, "Very good." A few seconds later, Katlia conjured the diary pages after receiving approval before seeing them leap into Mr. Fool's hands. Klein glanced at it casually when his heart skipped a beat. He realized that the diary pages provided by Queen Mystic depicted Emperor Rozel's early days. It didn't seem to contain anything important. Logically speaking, when being unable to distinguish the importance of entries, one will definitely prioritize the later diary entries. This would best restore the mystery as to why Emperor Rozel was agitated. I believe Queen Mystic is sufficiently clever. As Klein wondered to himself inwardly, he began seriously reading the first page. 21st September. Arrived at St. Millom. I've officially begun my first state visit. Faysac's weather is really a little cold. It's not even October and it looks like it's about to snow. It's no wonder it's famous for its various coats and winter wear, as well as its liquor. Fuck, the people here are ridiculously tall, as expected of a country that descended from giants. However, I have to say that I hate it when people look down on me. Tonight, I'll be going to a bar to find a Faysac beauty to share some drinks. Upon reading this, Klein suddenly suspected if Queen Mystic Bernadette's question was if she had a brother of Faysac descent. Holding back his tusking inwardly, Klein swept his gaze to the second diary entry. 22nd September, I think I blacked out. What happened last night? What happened to my Faysac beauty? I actually lost out to her in drinking. The embassy staff told me that the women here are often better at drinking than men. I should show some temperance when I head to bars in the future. I sure don't want some ugly, middle-aged woman to do unspeakable things to me when I black out. The alcohol here sure is strong. My headache has lasted an entire day. Thankfully, my stomach doesn't hurt. I should sleep early. I'll be visiting the Great Twilight Hall tomorrow. 23rd September. The Great Twilight Hall is indeed grand. It's like a myth materializing into reality. That building seems to be completely prepared for giants. Since I don't share their faith, I could only circle the perimeter. The square at the bottom of the Great Twilight Hall is also filled with the fragrance of alcohol. There were plenty of people there, some kneeling, some sitting, others playing musical instruments. They exude a rather relaxed and open feeling. I got to know a Faysacian who blows a bone flute. Compared to his kinsmen, he's ridiculously tall. He's roughly 3 meters tall. His name is Honegger, and he claims to be from one of the clans in Faysac that have the purest giant bloodline. The way he plays the bone flute looks very sorrowful, as though he doesn't belong here but has no idea where to go to. Compared to the skirt chasers at Intis, he's a lot more like a poet. Now that I mention it, I really can't help but give some criticism. Those guys seem to wear any sexual diseases as a badge of honor. It just messes up the entire social market. I had a chat with Honegger for a while and raised my question from before. He said that he's only homesick. But the problem lies in the fact that he's a true blue native from St. Millom. He has never left this place before. Honegger didn't immediately reply to me as he played the bone flute for a few more minutes. He later told me that he misses the origins of the giant bloodline, the giant king's court mentioned in myths. He told me that he and his clan of Faysacians often dream of tall mountains that are used as giant city walls. It's a palace forever bathed in twilight's glow, with tall towers and other kinds of buildings. It resembles the Great Twilight Hall, but it's even more fascinating, epic, and miraculous. Without anyone needing to tell them, Honegger and his clansmen believe that it's the giant king's court. Towards the end of our conversation, Honegger slowly stood up and thanked me for listening. He was going to leave Faceac to seek out the giant king's court to find the home of his soul. He believed that in the zone at the easternmost front of the Sanya Sea, there might be a path that leads to the giant king's court. He said that a millennia has passed, but the giants have never forgotten their home. Now, it's his turn to follow the footsteps of his ancestors. This path would never stop until the destination is reached. He played the bone flute again, and gradually left amidst that ethereal and sorrowful tune. Home. Home. Upon reading this, Klein felt for the first time that his feelings resonated with the emperor. Although Roselle only wrote the word that seemed to repeat without describing his feelings, Klein could understand the undulating feelings within the emperor. This was because he and Roselle were like Honegger. They had a home they belonged to spiritually. Sighing inwardly, Klein flipped to the second diary page. 10th January, visited Sanya Island. This place is also called Ancient Elf Island. It has plenty of elvish ruins and customs left over. I was surprised on the first day. The elves actually make blood cake, and they enjoy eating animal organs and are good at using spices. They even invented chopsticks. Thinking about the elvish depictions on the murals, apart from their blue hair, their facial contours and eyes are similar to Asians on Earth. Could they be my fellow countrymen? Yes, back then, I had such suspicions as well. However, it's impossible for so many people to transmigrate at once since it's almost an entire race. I felt that I was overthinking matters, but it doesn't make sense that the customs and cutlery that appears on Earth won't appear here. Klein thought in interest as he quickly continued reading. He wanted to know if Roselle had gotten to the bottom of it. 13th January. I've been so busy searching for writings, relics, and folk tales that I forgot to write my diary for a few days. Although many objects have been taken away by the various churches, I've still obtained something of value. Various legends have it that Elf King Soniathrim created chopsticks. There are records of him using animal organs and blood to cook delicacies. There are stories of this ancient god being good at identifying and using spices. It's acknowledged that he is their founding ancestor, the first elf. Due to certain reasons, he led the race and left the western continent that only existed in legends, bringing them to the northern continent. Could it be that this is a fellow countryman of mine, a transmigrator? He later produced an entire race. There's nothing ancient gods can't do, including having children. He apparently had a wife who was also an elf. I'll need to think this through. 16th January. After further investigation, elves might really have nothing to do with transmigrators. At the very least, they didn't leave behind any Chinese, English, or other symbols. They have likely been using Elvish all the time. Nothing of it gives me a sense of familiarity. Furthermore, the inventions we have in common didn't appear before I came. Likewise for famous quotes. There are only proverbs and idioms with similar meanings, but with a completely different choice of words. From all the items and legends I have now, none of them support my theory. This is a little disappointing, but it also makes me relieved. If I were to encounter another transmigrator or other transmigrators, I really have no idea how to face them. 17th January. I dreamed of the home I've nearly forgot. Indeed, the emperor more or less gave up on that theory. Klein flipped to the next page and saw the final diary entry. 2nd April. My daughter is smart. She can speak before the age of 1. Although she has only learned a few words, I believe that her subsequent development can't be slow. She must have inherited this from me. No matter how I look, she looks a little like how I looked like on Earth. Could it be that a soul will also bring about some level of inheritance? Haha, I'll just treat it as so. Bernadette, this name is quite good. It sounds beautiful, but deep in my heart, I keep having the urge to give her a Chinese nickname. Sigh, she won't get to see her real grandmother and grandfather. 3rd April. I suffered from insomnia last night because of the wistful thoughts I suddenly had yesterday. Thankfully, I know cogitation. However, this also made me consider a problem. That is whether I should secretly teach Bernadette Chinese. No, I can't. If she were to understand the diary entries her father had previously written, I'd rather kill myself. In my daughter's heart, her father is filled with honor. However, using Chinese to write my diary is my final tether to Earth and my past. My daughter should inherit this tether to a certain extent. 6th April. After a few days of consideration, I've decided to teach Bernadette 2 Chinese characters as though they are special symbols. I'll tell her that this is a protective incantation that her father is giving her and that she is to remember it forever. She doesn't need to know the corresponding meaning. All she needs to do is to remember it. The word in Chinese is home. Home. Klein repeated this word again as he felt his eyes redden a little. He finally understood why Queen Mystic had chosen these 3 diary pages. This was because it was the protective symbol her father had left her. Home. At this moment, Klein seemed to see a river of emotions. Its surface was flowing silently, but there were infinite eddies flowing underneath, churning without end. Klein retracted his gaze and made the diary pages disappear. Looking up at Katlia, he asked, "What's your question?"